What's going on, guys? It's the Answer MMA here, and today we got my first ever pay-per-view predictions. I did one last week, Strickland vs. Imavov. I did pretty decent on it. Took a couple hits on the main card. I got that Ige fight wrong and the Caitlin Vieira fight. But yeah, we got my first pay-per-view, and we got a pretty decent card, I'd say. Took a few hits with Gregory Rodriguez versus Brett Tavares. Gregory Rodriguez got a tougher opponent, I'd say. And Guram Kudalase is not going to be on this card. Sadly, I was really looking forward to that fight. And, we still got some great fights here. Davison Figueiredo versus Moreno 4. And then we got Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. We got Jessica Andrade versus Lauren Murphy. We got Johnny Walker versus Paul Craig. In the main event, Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira, which is a fight no one would have ever seen happening a month ago. This fight is literally only happening because of the clusterfuck that happened a month ago. I was there live, Ankalaev versus Blachowicz, and they're in a draw. And I go back to my hotel, check my phone, and see Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira get announced. It was very shocking, but now looking at it, this fight is much closer than people think when they first saw it. Everyone at first thought that Glover Teixeira was gonna, just get steamrolled past Jamal, but with a couple of thinking, he had some thoughts like Jamal could actually win this fight. But let's break it down. And the first fight we're gonna break down is in the welterweight division, Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny. Gilbert Burns, of course, coming off that loss against Khamzat Chimaev, a very close fight. Gave Khamzat Chimaev the toughest challenge of his career. Neil Magny coming off a win against D-Rod, and had a fight before that, Max Griffin, who some people thought Neil Magny lost. Actually, no, the one before D-Rod was Shavkat Rakhmonov, where he literally got his ass kicked and got submitted right before the third round. Gilbert Burns, I think he's just gonna roll past Neil Magny, and the only reason this fight's happening is because no one wanted to fight Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns couldn't find an opponent. Jorge Masvidal got some legal issues to do, and his last one was against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which was back at UFC 264. And Gilbert Burns, want to see him get more active. Before that, he fought for the title, and then before that, he beat Tyron Woodley. He's not even in the UFC no more. Of course, got knocked out by Jake Paul twice. Neil Magny's very active. He's always in the octagon within every 4 to 5 months. So yeah, Gilbert Burns is older by 1 year though. He's 36. Neil is 35, and I just see Gilbert Burns winning here. He's a better striker. I think he's just better all around him, Neil Magny. Neil Magny got some, good grappling, but Gilbert got some pretty good grappling. He got some good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he just got more power than Neil Magny. And I'm going to say Gilbert Burns wins this by a third round TKO. I just can't see a way Neil Magny can win this, But anything can happen. It's MMA. But I'm going to go with Gilbert Burns here. And the co-main is for the undisputed flyweight championship of the world, Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. Davison won the last fight. Brandon won the second fight. And the first fight ended up in a draw. If Davison did not foul Brandon Moreno, I don't even think we would have been this far to a quadrilogy, but here we are. Davison Figueiredo is aging, but I don't think that's going to stop him, Maybe a brutal weight cut, After this, I don't see him fighting at flyweight. And for Brandon Moreno, he's still pretty young. He's just 29 years old. And you could make an argument that Brandon Moreno won the last fight. I thought Figgy won 1, 3, and 5. And, Brandon did very good despite that knockdown at the end of the fifth, which probably gave the judges Davison that fight, let's be honest. Same with me too. I give him that round. But without that knockdown, I think Brandon could have won. I'm gonna have to rewatch that fight, actually. Maybe break it down. But it's a very tough fight to predict, Brandon Moreno, he took a fight off, against Kai France, won that fight. Very good win against, a very good rising contender who's been winning his fights. Coming off a win against an undefeated, they called Askar Askarov. Brandon got the reach advantage. Davidson's a smaller fighter. Well, he's a shorter fighter, but I think he's bigger. I believe he cuts more weight than Brandon. And he hasn't faced a guy not named Brandon Moreno since 2020. So, there's a very tough prediction. Davidson got some good power. He proved it in the last fight. Dropping Moreno 3 times. But Brandon dropped him in the second fight, which led to the submission, which ended up in Brandon winning the title. So it's a very tough fight to predict. I'm going to go Davidson Figueiredo, but I'm not so confident in that pick. I'm going to go Figueiredo in the decision. But I'm not fully confident in that. I could definitely see ways Brandon could win. I could see more ways of Brandon beating Figgy than Figgy beating Moreno, other decision. But I'm going to go with Figueiredo winning by decision. And the main event of the evening, Glover Teixeira versus Jamal Hill. What a way to start off a year. No one would have predicted this start off the freaking year, man. In the beginning of December, who do you think is main event? We would have all said Davidson and Moreno. Well, because of UFC 282, we got this. Jamal Hill, Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira, I believe he's older by 11 years old, He's 11 years older than Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill hasn't taken as much damage as Glover did. Glover's last fight was a war against Yuri Prochazka, a fight of the year, my fight of the year. And Jamal Hill, coming off a good win against Thiago Santos, but we definitely see some flaws in there with his takedown defense. So that's something we hope he has worked on for this fight. Because if not, that's going to be a huge problem. Thiago Santos taking you down, it should not even be a thing that should be happening. And, he had an incredible knockout of Johnny Walker, and finishing Jimmy Crew. But Glover Teixeira has been in the game for a very long time. The grappling advantage is on his side. And, Jamal Hill, he has better striking. I think Glover got some decent boxing. And I think it hang in there, Glover's, resume speaks for itself. Look at all those names he's beaten. Very tough, Jamal, the younger fighter. If he wins this, he will be the first Dana White Contender Series prospect to win a title. It's very tough. Jamal Hill, I believe, is the favorite in the betting odds. I don't see how, but I'm gonna go Glover Teixeira to win by a second round submission. I can see Jamal Hill, he's gonna start off fast. This is gonna be his first title fight. So I don't think he hasn't been here yet, and Glover has. I believe it's Glover's third title fight in his career, and Glover's definitely been in the spotlight before. I can see Jamal Hill starting off very fast, possibly I can see him knocking down Glover, with clean shots, but I don't see Glover going fully out. And then the second round, I can see Glover catching him with a clean shot, hurting Hill, and I think he takes him down and submits him, and I think that's how the fight's gonna end. We're predicting, me predicting who's gonna win what round, but I think that's how it's gonna go. Glover Teixeira, second round submission, but I could definitely see a way Jamal Hill can win this, He's taking less damage, he's definitely got more power, but we just don't know how he's gonna react to the grappling of Glover. So that's why I'm going to pick Glover Teixeira to win this fight. And he's going to be our new UFC undisputed champion of the world in the light heavyweight division. And by the end of the year, no, well, I can see Uncle Ive getting a title shot then. And at the end of the year, Yuri fights the winner. And I think he wins. Whoever wins the fight between this fight is Uncle Ive. So that's my prediction. Glover, second round. Here are the rest of my predictions. A pretty decent card, I'd say. I got Jessica Andrade being Lauren Murphy by decision. Lauren Murphy, she got a pretty good chin. I think she's going to be able to withstand her shots, but Jessica Andrade is going to be too much. I got Johnny Walker over Paul Craig. I can see Johnny Walker knocking him out because Paul Craig's striking is just trash. The only way I can see Paul Craig winning is by submission. So if it goes to the ground, Paul Craig is most likely going to submit him. Shogun, who is back, but it's a horrible comeback fight. They should have given someone more respectable, Like, they should have brought back Lyoto Machida. But here we go. He's going to get knocked out in his last fight. Gregory Rodriguez, not fighting Brad Tavares. They gave him an even tougher opponent, in my opinion. And I can see Bruno knocking him out. Thiago Moises, I don't even know who he's fighting. But I got him, He's fought some of the best. And I got him winning this fight. And I got Gabriel Bonfim defeating Terrence McKinney. Yeah, I got both the Bonfim brothers winning. So, yep, that's it, man. That's my predictions. That's what I think is gonna happen. And let me know. Comment down your predictions. And like, subscribe, and peace.